You're about to find out why one of the emptiest places on Earth is absolutely packed with conspiracy theories. Antarctica looks like nothing, just ice, wind, and a white horizon that never ends. But that nothing is exactly what makes it dangerous for the human brain. When there's almost no information, we don't just accept the blank space. We start filling it in with stories. Secret Nazi bases, lost civilizations under the ice, alien pyramids, a real edge of the world that governments are hiding from you. And here's the twist. Every single one of those stories starts with one tiny, boring fact that gets stretched until it snaps. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 biggest Antarctica conspiracies and then show you the one real secret that can actually hit your life in the real world. Antarctica attracts conspiracies for 3 simple reasons. It's remote, it's restricted, and it's weird. Most people will never set foot there. You can't just book a cheap flight and go wander around the interior with a selfie stick. Access is limited, expensive, and tightly controlled by the Antarctic Treaty, which was set up so countries wouldn't start carving the place up for war or mining. To normal people, that looks like secrecy. And secrecy is rocket fuel for they're hiding something from us. If you wanted to invent the perfect place for conspiracy theories, you'd invent Antarctica and then realize it already exists. On top of that, the landscape itself is freaky. It's bigger than Europe, buried under ice that, in some places, is more than 3 kilometers thick. Under that ice are mountains, valleys, and whole buried lakes we've only mapped with radar. When you hear there are entire mountain ranges hidden under the ice, your brain doesn't go glacial geology. It goes, so what else could be down there? Be honest. If you could peel the ice off Antarctica like a lid, what would you actually expect to see? And if you think that sounds wild, wait until you hear how one real Nazi expedition got turned into one of the internet's favorite myths. Let's talk about one of the most viral theories, the secret Nazi base in Antarctica. This one doesn't come out of nowhere. In 1938, Nazi Germany really did send an expedition to a region they called Neuschwabenland. It was mostly about whaling, mapping, and trying to stake a bit of symbolic claim in the south. But it gave later storytellers a perfect starting point. Take one real expedition, add some underground caves, throw Hitler on a submarine, and suddenly you've got a frozen Fourth Reich living under the ice with the Illuminati. The real history is boring by comparison. One ship, a short expedition, no evidence of permanent bases, no trace of secret cities when post-war missions and scientists later surveyed the area. But online, boring loses. Hidden Nazi superbase still operating under the ice gets millions of clicks. Here's the part nobody wants to admit. The fake version of the story is just more entertaining than the real one. Now ask yourself this, if there really was a giant base under the ice, what kind of hard evidence would we expect to see by now? And if that evidence isn't there, why are we so desperate to believe it anyway? All of this is noise built on one small fact. Remember that, because it's the same move you're about to see again. Next, the pyramids of Antarctica. In 2016, satellite images started circulating of a sharp, triangular peak sticking out of the snow. It looked suspiciously like a man-made pyramid. Clean lines, nice symmetry. Exactly the kind of thing an algorithm will grab for a thumbnail with the words, "Ancient Aliens" slapped over it. Videos and articles exploded. Proof of a lost civilization, Atlantean outpost, alien landing pad. Take your pick. But geologists took one look and shrugged. It's what's called a pyramidal peak, a natural mountain shape carved by glaciers grinding away on multiple sides. You can see similar shapes in the Alps and in other mountain ranges around the world. No secret city, no buried temple, just ice and erosion doing what ice and erosion do for millions of years. So why do people cling to the pyramid myth even after the explanation is out there? Because just a mountain feels like a ripoff when your brain wants a doorway to another world. The real answer is simple, and simple doesn't scratch that itch for secret knowledge. Here's something to notice. The rock didn't change. Only the story wrapped around it changed. If you'd seen that screenshot with no explanation, what would you have believed? And even that doesn't beat the last theory, the one that turns Antarctica into a literal entrance to another world. Maybe the most dramatic theory is the hidden world under the ice. Warm caverns, forgotten jungles, a lost advanced civilization. There's a tiny grain of reality here, too. Antarctica does have subglacial lakes, liquid water sealed under the ice, geothermal areas where volcanic heat shapes the landscape. Scientists have drilled into some of these lakes and found strange microbial life and unique ecosystems. But from there, the story mutates. People take the idea of hidden lakes and caves and inflate it into entire underground continents. Tropical zones, ancient cities, aliens. You name it. Some versions even drag in a rumored secret diary of Admiral Byrd. They say he flew into an underground world and met a hyper-advanced civilization. The problem is simple. No credible evidence of that diary exists. And Byrd's actual missions were cold, dangerous, and mostly about mapping and survival, not chatting with lost people in a warm, hollow Earth. It's not that there's nothing under the ice. There is. It's that what's really there, microbes, mud, and rock, isn't enough for people who want magic. So here's the uncomfortable question. When the truth is already strange, why do we still feel the need to upgrade it into fantasy? There's one more ingredient you can't ignore. The internet makes Antarctica conspiracies spread faster than any expedition ever could. A weird shape spotted on Google Earth, a misread scientific paper, a line taken out of context from an old Cold War operation. All of that becomes content. TikToks, shorts, AI-generated documentaries with ominous music and zoomed-in blurry photos. The more mysterious and angry the tone, no one wants you to see this, the better it performs. The platforms reward emotion and novelty, not accuracy. That's why a locked-down, treaty-controlled, hard-to-visit continent is perfect. If you want to debunk a video about your local mall, people can go there and check. If you want to debunk a video about a hidden city 2 kilometers under Antarctic ice, most viewers have to just pick who they believe. So the game isn't what's true. The game is whose story feels better. And most of the time, the craziest story wins. Here's where it gets personal. Antarctica isn't just a conspiracy playground. It's a mirror, showing us how badly we handle not knowing. Psychologists point out that places like Antarctica trigger a specific set of mental reflexes. Pattern seeking, agency seeking, the need for control. When we see random shapes in ice or mountains, our brains want them to be something. A pyramid, a doorway, an entrance. When we hear about restricted access, we assume there's an agent, a they, making choices behind the scenes. And when we're anxious about the world, it can feel better to believe in a hidden plan, even a sinister one, than to accept that the universe is mostly indifferent, chaotic, and cold. Antarctica, with its blank maps, sealed interior, and harsh conditions, is like a big white projection screen. People project whatever story scares or excites them the most. Secret weapons, alien archives, ancient archives, a door to another world. The real continent, full of scientists drilling ice cores, measuring climate change, and trying not to freeze, isn't as cinematic. So that's it, right? Just silly stories on a frozen rock. Not quite. There's one last Antarctica secret, and this one doesn't stay trapped at the South Pole. Because while people argue about hidden cities and Nazi bases, the real drama in Antarctica is the ice itself. How fast it's melting. What it tells us about past climates. What it means for coastlines everywhere. Under the stories about aliens and lost worlds, there's a quieter story about data, graphs, and rising seas. So here's the real hidden secret of Antarctica. It isn't a vault hiding a secret civilization. It's a giant frozen hard drive, storing the climate history of our planet in layer after layer of ancient snow. The real mystery isn't what are they hiding from us. The real mystery is what happens to us if we keep ignoring what this ice is trying to tell us. If you want more videos that rip open popular conspiracies and show you the strange reality underneath, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Next time, we're going after another untouchable topic people swear you're not supposed to question. And tell me in the comments which Antarctica theory you think actually does the most damage in the real world, not just which one sounds the coolest.